Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to St. Ignatius as the Vikings get ready to take on the Mission Bulldogs. Vikings up first. BFSD events on YouTube. Viking basketball on a Saturday afternoon. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and Vals, here from St. Ignatius as they get ready to battle here. Battle between first and second in 7B. And had a chance to sit down and talk with head coach John Hollow on the pregame show, and this is what he had to say about the start of the year so far for the Vikings and where they're going here in today's ball game. So let me play that for you. Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the pregame show here. We're Bigfork Vikings basketball on FST events here on YouTube. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals, as we're down here in St. Ignatius ready to take on the Mission Bulldogs. And for the first time this year, I got him on the pregame show, the head coach, John Hollow of the Vikings. Hey, you guys are 9-2 overall, 6-0 in conference, and another conference game as you go through the season. So 11 games in, you still have 7 games to go here in the second half before we head to the postseason. Talk about your team overall and how you guys are playing before Christmas versus after Christmas, because I thought you guys have really improved.
Yeah, I don't think a lot's changed as far as what we're trying to do. We've ran the ball, pushed the ball a little bit better, got up and down the floor, but honestly, we've been playing really good basketball this year. It seems like every night it's a different guy who's our leading scorer. I wish I was smart enough to figure out and sit down, but I would bet we've had 7 different leading scorers in 11 games or 12 games, however many we've played. And we're just playing really good team basketball. They're super unselfish, fun to watch. And again, people ask all the time, well, what's different now than last year? There's not one thing. Different offenses. We're not running, any different defenses. It's just these guys have bought into that. It's me instead of we, and boy, it's been fun to watch.
Well, yeah, you guys are playing.
We instead of me.
I get what I know what you're saying, Coach. Yeah, it's the name on the front, not the name on the back, as we talk about that. But yeah, I see you guys. I'd say the only thing difference is another year of experience you guys had. You made it to state, and you had a good showing at state, winning that first game, but and then losing the semifinal to the eventual state champion last year. But I think really you guys rely pretty much Isaac can go and score at any time, but him to really run and push the ball and get it to the right guys to get him going. But then you have Walker back, who's a senior, Bryce Gilliard. You're missing Colin, but other guys stepping up. And one of the things I really see that really stepped up this year and came out against Deer Lodge was Cole Konopik. Talk about him and that game. He had 27 and really. You guys knew that was there, and he came forward. He's been playing great since.
Yeah, truthfully, we probably got 7 guys that can score 20 points, and that's trying to make everything sound great and all that, but that's the reality, and that's why we're such a hard team to guard. Cole's had a good year. One guy that hasn't had a great year offensively so far is Gilliard. But I tell you what, the things he's doing right now are just amazing, and his offense will get going, and that's the exciting thing. We're playing all these teams, and we've got the better of most of the teams we've played this year, and that's without Bryce, probably one of our all-state players, not playing offensively as good as he has been in the last few years, and that'll come. There's not a doubt in my mind it'll come, and like I tell him all the time, you keep doing all the other things. That'll come. So I'm excited for him. He needs to get going a little bit. But, again, that's where the team had 9 guys played state tournament last year that are all back, and they're all playing well and playing together. And Cole got it against Deer Lodge. He got 27. I think you see the offensive potential he has. But, again, we have other guys that can do that too. And that's the exciting thing, And if they take away 1 or 2 or even maybe 3 of our guys, we got other guys that can score the basketball. So,
well, one of the things you talk about Bryce, I'd be keen on him, but the things you don't see are, in the scorebook. You don't see the rebounds, the block shots, the charging calls he takes, finding the right guy open. So he's doing all the little things that don't show up. But as you as a coach and me as a broadcaster, I notice stuff like that as well. And then you talk about Eli Thornus. I mean, you can take it to the basket anytime, and he does a great job. Hard player, and then you still talk about guys like Wyatt Johnson coming off the bench, Jack Jensen, as well. Landon Byerman is great at the free throw line, and you guys are deep and very talented. Anybody can score anytime, so that makes it really tough on defense of the other teams.
Yeah, that's the difference right now between this year and last year. Is these guys, Landon coming off the bench and maybe getting 3 or 4 or 5 minutes last year and kind of just being more of a role guy. They're stepping in now, and they know that they have the green light to go out and shoot the ball. And that's the difference. We're a really good team. We got to still continue to get better. I'm not smart enough to know this, but Epperly said if we win tonight, we win the conference or the district, and that's our first goal of the season, to win the district. So we got to get that accomplished. It's never easy to play down here, and then we got to just keep getting better. My biggest fear, and I've never had a team that I told or that I've ever coached in all my years of coaching that I've told they're good enough to win a state championship. But we cannot be complacent and we cannot be satisfied with where we're at. We got to keep getting better, and that's my job. That's our job as a coaching staff, is to make sure we're getting better every night. And goal one can be accomplished here in a couple hours or a couple minutes, whenever you're doing this broadcast. But that's exciting. And now, again, that's goal number one. We have 2 really good opponents next week. We still got the district tournament, divisional tournament, hopefully the state tournament. So we got to keep getting better. We got to keep doing the things that we've been doing in the first 12 games to make us successful.
Well, I think one of the things key to you guys, right? Yeah, getting better and peaking at the right time, what you talk about. So, but you got tough opponents coming up. You've got coming up next week. You have Columbia Falls on Tuesday at home, so a rematch of the game up there. Then we play Loyola. That'll be a tough matchup. And then you get Polson. So it's a couple good that will really push you guys, I think, for the postseason and make you better. Those are probably going to be your 3 toughest games, I think, on the year. Columbia Falls, besides the Butte Central game, Loyola, then Polson. So I want to know about the 35-second clock. How has it changed the mindset of the kids where now you can't slow down? You got to get that shot up within 35 seconds.
I don't think it's changed it at all. And, honestly, watching our games, and we're a little different team. If you would ask me my first year here, 4 years ago, we wanted to slow down. We wanted the games in the 40s and 50s. We were big. We weren't overly, what's the proper terminology? I don't want to say overly athletic, but we weren't an up and down type of team.
We weren't fast.
Yeah, we wanted to slow the game down. Yeah. So I think it would have been a lot different then. Now, honestly, I don't think it's come into play but about 3 or 4 times. It's come into play more defensively for us than offensively. So it hasn't changed it a lot. There's a few 2-for-1 opportunities, that you can get into, but we haven't really talked about it that much. Maybe some game it's going to come into play and it's going to be a factor, but not yet.
We'll talk about today's matchup. Mission, overall they're 6-4, but they're 5-1 right behind you. Their only loss against you. So, like Coach Price telling you beat these guys who's in second place, then you're 2 up on them, and there's no way that they would catch you. So that would seal it for today. So talk about the matchup today, because they like to run as well as you guys.
They do. Where we really hurt them last time is they're not very big. They're quick and they want to get up and down the floor, but so do we. And we're 6'3", 6'4", and we can do that. So I like our matchup today. Laframboy, I think he had 23 against us last time, but had 0 points going into the fourth quarter. I mean, that's got to be our focus tonight. They go as he goes. I mean, if he scores 30, they're going to be in the game. If he doesn't, I really think we'll do a good job of holding the other guys down and, get the win. But again, we got to come out and play and do what we do. And I think that's the difference in this year more than other years. I'm not really focused on other teams. I mean, I know what we need to do. I've got a strategy, a game plan, but I'm more worried about us. And if we do what we do, there's not a lot of teams that can beat us in the state. I truly believe that. So.
Yeah, you guys are very quick, very athletic. I like your pressure defense, trapping. That really caused Thompson Falls a lot of headaches when you guys played them at home. But doing that against Mission, and getting some turnovers, able to run the floor. So I'm really looking forward to today's ball game as well, and good luck to you guys and sewing up this district title in 7B today. So good luck and go Vikes.
Yeah, our last year, might as well go out with a bang, right?
All right, thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, head coach John Hollow on the pregame show. Pregame brought to you by Gilliard Painting, winner of the 2020 Best of the Flat as the #1 best painting contractor. Interior, exterior painting and staining, pressure washing, parking lot striping, property caretaking. Chip Gilliard at 1080 Swan Horseshoe Drive in Bigfork. 210-7794 or chipgilliard@yahoo.com. Proud sponsor of Bigfork Athletics. If you see them around, let them know. We'll get ready for tip-off here in Mission. It is the Bigfork Vikings taking on the Mission Bulldogs here in conference play in 7B. This is second half. 11 games and 7 games to go in the regular season before we hit the district divisionals, and then possibly looking forward to an opportunity to get back to state for the Vikings. I'll be back here with your starting lineup here from Mission, Montana, or St. Ignatius, where it's the Vikings taking on the Mission Bulldogs. All right, welcome back to St. Ignatius as the Vikings get ready to take on the Mission Bulldogs, wrapping up the national anthem. One of the cheerleaders here for Mission singing the national anthem. And the starting line is brought to you by Hanson Excavating, demolition, site preparation, excavating and grading in business for 30 years. Fred Hanson at 837-1051. So first of all, the starting lineup for the for the hometown Mission Bulldogs. A 6'1" senior forward, number 2, Kenny Ness. At 5'10", a senior guard, number 21, Kellen McClure. At 6 foot even guard, junior, number 23, Landon walks over ice. At 5'9", senior guard, number 24, Zorn Laframboy. And then a 6'1" senior forward, number 44, for Carmen Adams. For head coach Stuart Grant, this is by Adam Hakaluk, and Tony Incasola, and Lucas Lawrence. For the Vikings, their starting lineup, at 6 foot even, a junior guard, number 10, Jack Jensen. At 6 foot even as well, senior guard, number 14, Landon Byerman. At senior forward, 6'4", captain, number 15, Bryce Gilliard. At 6'2", junior guard, number 23, Cole Kanopik. And then finally a 6'5", senior forward, captain, number 33, Nick Walker. For head coach John Hollow, assisted by Adam Jort, Jim Epperly, and Tristan Clark. We're about ready to get underway here from St. Ignatius. It's the Vikings taking on the Bulldogs. 406-270-7384. Text me out there. Let me know you're listening and getting in the ball game. And tip will be brought to you by Averill's Flathead Lake Lodge, where they proudly supported Bigfork athletics since 1945. So wrapping up the starting lineups for Mission with the announcer here. So Mission in their whites with their navy dark blue letters, numbers, and names and striping. For the Vikings in their blues with gray lettering and numbers, gray striping, a little bit of red tied in, the school colors for the Vikings. Again, the Vikings are, we talked about pregame, they are 6-0 in conference, 9-2 overall. And for the Bulldogs, 6-4, 5-1 in conference, in second place, a battle for first place right here. And we're ready to tip it off. It'll be Nick Walker going up against Carmine Adams for Mission. Here from St. Ignatius, we're ready to go. Tip, Walker wins the battle. Underneath, Jensen to Byerman, scores 2 early. And a nice tip drill to Jack Jensen. And Byerman flashing towards the basket, scores the first bucket, 2-0 Vikes. On your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Quickly up, long shot, LaFarm 3-point shot on the way. Nick Walker grabs the rebound for Bigfork, gives it off to Jensen. Jensen will bring it across the timeline for the Vikings. 2-3 zone by Mission. They give it over to Byerman. Byerman top of the key. Over to Epperly underneath the Jensen in the corner. Cole Kanopik, 3-point shot, baseline. Bounces it in for 3 for Cole Kanopik. 5-0 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Quickly up. Walks over ice. Gets in the corner. Baseline jumper, no good. Rebounded there by Landon Byerman. Byerman quickly up the court. Finds Cole. Cole in the corner. Look at the drive. Shoots a baseline jumper off the backboard. Grabs the rebound. Out to Epperly. Jack Jensen on the drive. Pulls up. Off the rim. No good. Running it down. Cole Kanopka tries to get it. And that'll be Mission basketball. 6:55 to go here in the first quarter. Vikes up 5-0 on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. Into LaFramboy, a little 1-3-1 pressure defense. Walks over ice, LaFramboy in the backcourt, gets it over to walks over ice, right corner. Stolen away by Gilliard. Gilliard going to look to go coast to coast on LaFramboy. Left hand off the glass is good for 2 by Bryce Gilliard. And a 7-0 lead here. Walks over ice, he'll give it to McClure. McClure in the backcourt. Trap defense by Bigfork. Walks over ice, over Ness, baseline jumper. Miss. LaFramboy gets the rebound and puts it back up and in for 2. Jensen quickly up. Kanopik, right side, right wing. Get it out to Byerman. Byerman over to Jensen, left side. Gilliard underneath. Nick Walker. Walker looking, gets blocked. And blocked by Adams by Mission. It'll remain Bigfork basketball with 6:07 to go here in the first quarter. And the Vikes up by 5, 7-2. Jensen inbound near side in the front court. Oh, meant to get Walker, and Jensen right back at him, catches it, and it's out of bounds on Bigfork, so turnover. LaFramboy over to walks over ice. Back court, back to LaFramboy, right side. Walks over ice, over on the left side. Looking to drive it. Pressure defense put on by Bigfork. Walks over ice to McClure. McClure out. Going to bring it top of the key. Konopka putting pressure defense. Man, they stole it by Byerman. Konopka going to get it as Byerman kicks it up. Off the glass is good by Cole Konopka. And a nice save by Landon Byerman. LaFramboy quickly will give it up to McClure. McClure. Oh. And Byerman goes down hard. They're going to call a blocking foul. Number 14, Landon Byerman. That's his first team foul on the Vikes with 5:36 to go here in the opening quarter. 9-2 on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. Into LaFramboy from McClure. LaFramboy top of the key. Over to McClure. Man-to-man defense by Bigfork. 2-3 zone defense. McClure underneath Ness. Ness looking. Corner. McClure three-point shot. Left side out the rim, no good. Walker with the rebound, and he'll get fouled by Walks over ice. That's his first team foul on Mission with 5:20 to go here in the opening quarter. Byerman over to Jensen. Pressure defense put on by the Bulldogs. Cole Konopka backcourt in the corner. Nick Walker underneath Bryce Gilliard. Off the glass for two, and a nice pass by Nick Walker. 11-2 now on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. Walks over ice, over McClure. McClure walks over ice. LaFramboy right left corner three on the way is good. Jensen will give it up to Gilliard. Back to Jensen in the backcourt. Jensen looking, gets it over. Cole Konopka looking to drive up, under, leaves it short. Rebounded by LaFramboy. LaFramboy quickly up, pulls up for a three, and drains it. Or check that, the two as his foot was on the line. And it's 11-7 on a Bigfork Harvest scoreboard. Jensen across the timeline. Will get over to Cole Konopka. In the right corner, right wing, Landon Byerman. Byerman out to Jensen. Jensen looking to drive. And Jensen called for traveling. Eli Thornus, Isaac Epperly, Wyatt Johnson will come in for Konopka, Walker, and Byerman for the Vikes. So full court pressure put on by Bigfork. McClure gets it into the LaFramboy. Right side, over to Walks over ice. In the middle of LaFramboy. Back over to Walks over ice. You get trapped, LaFramboy. Nearly stolen away by Eli Thornus. And that'll be player control foul. Fouls on 21. Kellen McClure, player control. That's his first. And his second team foul with 4:03 to go. 11-7, Bigfork leads on your Gilliard painting scoreboard. Gilliard to Epperly. Epperly, backcourt, across the timeline. Epperly. He's going to get fouled on the far side. Fouls on 23. Walks over ice. That's his first, or check second, third team foul. Number 10, Leo Pierce in the lineup for Mission as Walks over ice picks up his second. 13 foul on them. Bryce Gilliard dumps underneath. Eli Thornus looking to go up. And a call up for traveling. And turnover to the Bulldogs. LaFramboy into McClure. Over to Pierce. Back to McClure. Underneath. Stolen away. Thornus tips it away to Jack Jensen. Wyatt Johnson, right left wing. Out to Jack Jensen. Out near half court. He's going to set it up. 2-3 zone by Mission. Over to Wyatt Johnson on the right wing. Jensen, top of the key. Underneath to Epperly at the free throw line. Epperly looking. Pulls up underneath. Gets it Thornus. Thornus up. Blocked there by Mission. Quickly up. Off the glass by Adams. Good for two. And officials timeout as Ness. And officials time 42, Eric Morgeau coming in the lineup for Mission. 11-9 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Jensen to inbound. Pressured defense put on by Mission. Epperly, right side looking. Gives it up to Thornus. Thornus, Jensen. Jensen underneath. Had Wyatt Johnson. Johnson going to kick it back out. Thornus. Jensen, top of the key. Epperly, or excuse me, 3 ball by Bryce Gilliard. Laframboy. And Morgeau hops out of bounds. Turnover to Bigfork with 2:38 to go here in the opening quarter. 5-point lead, 14-9 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Jensen will get it into Gilliard. Gilliard in the backcourt. Over to Epperly, right side. Gilliard, Jensen. Jensen top of the key, gives it up to Epperly. Epperly out near half court. Gives it over to Jensen on the right wing. Back to Epperly. Gilliard. Top of the key looking. Epperly. Right wing. 3. Off the rim. No good. Rebounded by McClure. Excuse me. Fromboy pulls up. 3-point shot. And he'll get fouled. He misses the 3. And gets fouled by number 3. That's Isaac Epperly. His first. And second team foul on the Vikings. 2:10 to go here. And Zoran Laframboy at the line to shoot 3 for Mission. First one is good. And he'll get 2 more. Second one on the way is good. 1 more for Laframboy. And makes all 3. Gilliard quickly into Epperly. Back to Gilliard, over to Jensen. Jensen right side. They'll give it up to Gilliard, back to Epperly. Epperly, Jensen right side. They'll give it up to Gilliard, top of the key. Gilliard looking. Pulls up, Jensen. Wyatt Johnson on the right side. Jensen, Epperly. Epperly looking, triple teamed. Jensen pulls up. 3-point shot on the way from the top of the key, misses it. Epperly battles, grabs the rebound. Gonna look to drive in. Epperly up off the glass, scores 2. And a tough shot by Isaac Epperly for the Vikings. With 1:35 to go, it's 16-12. Laframboy, 3 on the way. Misses it. Run down. And out of bounds off Laframboy. It'll be Bigfork basketball. Kenny Ness comes back in for Mission. Cole Kanopic in for Jack Jensen for the Vikes. It's 16-12, the Vikes leave on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. Gilliard, Kanopic, back to Gilliard. Across the timeline to Epperly. Epperly in the corner. Thornus, Epperly looking up, under, off the glass. Nice up and under move by Isaac Epperly. 18-12 here on your Harvest Food scoreboard. McClure over to Flamboy. Across the timeline. Out to McClure. McClure guarded by Wyatt Johnson. Vikings in a man-to-man defense. Nearly stolen away. Get out to Pierce. Laframboy looking, driving in. And Gilliard is going to get called for the blocking foul. 15, that's Bryce Gilliard. That's his first third-team foul. And Cole Kanopic went down the wrong way. Staff looking at him on the court as Nick Walker returns for the Vikes. The trainer out there looking at him. 52.1 to go here in the first quarter. The Vikes up 18-12. Bigfork Harvest Foods scoreboard.
Congratulations, Norton.
Cole coming out of the game with an injury as he went down awkwardly. And the trainer will take a look at him. So Johnson, Gilliard, Epperly, Walker, and Thornus in the ball game for Bigfork. Ness, Lafamboy, Morgeau, Pierce, and 12, Donovan in for Mission. Stolen away. Epperly up the court. Quickly, Wyatt Johnson looking underneath for Thornus. Backside. Bryce Gilliard, 3 on the way. Off the back rim, no good. Nick Walker comes up with the rebound, puts it up, and misses it. And rebounded by Lafamboy for Mission with 29 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Over to Pierce. Back to Lafamboy. Throws up something, misses it. Gilliard with the rebound, 18 seconds to go. Wyatt Johnson, plenty of time for the last shot here in the first quarter. Still 18-12 on your Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Epperly out near half court, 7 seconds to go. Epperly looking to drive. Screen by Gilliard. Gilliard pops for the 3. Oh, off the rim, no good. Walker right there with a shot up too late, would have been no good. He misses it anyway. After 1 here from St. Ignatius, it's the Bigfork Vikings 18, the Mission Bulldogs 12. On your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard, I'll be back with the second quarter and first half from Mission. All right, we're back here in St. Ignatius as the Vikings lead the Mission Bulldogs 18-12. It'll be Mission's basketball to start the second quarter. Pierce inbounding to Lafamboy. Walks over ice, back in the ballgame. McClure and Ness, the starting lineup for Mission. Byerman back at Walker, Johnson, Epperly, and Thornus for the Vikes. Pierce with the basketball, top of the key, guarded by Johnson. Knocked away, walks over ice, grabs it, looking to drive. Runs over Byerman. Pierce, 3-point on the way. Rebounded there by Landon Byerman. Byerman in the backcourt, gives it up. Lafamboy nearly steals it. Epperly with the basketball. They'll give it out to Johnson. Top of the key. Johnson over to Thornus. Thornus underneath. Epperly up and under. Shoots it up. Misses. Got his own rebound. Grabbed there by Wyatt Johnson. The loose ball. Spin move. Epperly, free throw line. Thought about it. Gives it over to Thornus. Thornus underneath Nick Walker. Walker up underneath. Dribbles it and loses it. Turnover. Lafamboy with the basketball. Over to Walks over ice. Top of the key. Pierce will give it over to Lafamboy. Lafamboy truck spin move. Epperly gets on the ground, gives it up. Thornus on the drive, gonna take it up strong off the glass, scores it as Johnson gives it up to Thornus, and Thornus on the drive. 20-12 on the Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. The Vikes lead. Lafamboy walks over ice. Vikings in a man-to-man defense. Walks over ice, guided by Byerman. Byerman goes in there. Walker with the rebound on the wild shot by Walks over ice. Johnson quickly up the court for the Vikes. Spin move. Thornus baseline drive. Walker right there with the rebound, goes up, and they could call a held ball. It'll be Bigfork basketball then. McClure back in for Mission, and it's good to see Cole Kanopic back in for the Vikes. Epperly inbound far side under his own basket. Epperly quick. Bucket counts. So the basket's good underneath. They're calling timeout, 30-second timeout. And Cole tried to come back in, but stepped wrong and needs to be retaped. So Gilliard will come back in for the Vikes. So the basket counts 22-12, up by 10 on the Vikings on the Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard. 406-270-7384. Let me know you're listening out there. It'll be Epperly, Johnson, Byerman, Thornus, and Gilliard in the lineup for the Vikes now. So basket is good. And Mission will inbound. McClure gets it into LaFramboise. Cross timeline. McClure guarded by Johnson. Over on the left side. Over to LaFramboise, guarded by Epperly. Jumping out and helping. Not going to get LaFramboise to get off for 30-some points. He's trying to get it away. Johnson nearly steals it. And they'll call a foul on the Vikes. Number 3, Isaac Epperly. That's his second. And the 14th foul on the Vikings. McClure to inbound. Gets the walks over ice over the left side. So Johnson will go on LaFramboise now. Epperly guarding, walks over ice. Deep shot on the way off the glass. Misses it. And they're going to call a foul, the rebound on Bigfork. That's on Thornus, his first 15th foul. LaFramboise in. Morgeau stolen away by Gilliard. And they're talking about an intentional foul because Gilliard stepped in and Morgeau grabbed him from behind, which is not good. And two of the officials getting together. That could be a flagrant. Intentional foul on the 42. Eric Morgeau. So Gilliard will go to the line to shoot 2. Then Bigfork will get the basketball and the intentional foul on Morgeau. That's a 14th foul on Mission with 5:40 to go here till halftime. Gilliard at the line will get 2. Shot up, drops off the rim, gets the bounce, and he'll get one more. Second shot, misses that one, and Bigfork will get the basketball. So Bigfork on the intentional gets 3 throws and 2 shots, 44. Adams back in for Morgeau. And Morgeau knows he did something wrong there. Coach talking to him. Johnson with the basketball, 23-12 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Johnson looking. Byerman back out to Johnson, top of the key. Landon Byerman, thought about the 3, looking, driving. Epperly, right wing. Johnson, top of the key underneath. Thornus, turnaround jumper short. Rebounded by LaFramboise for Mission. Quickly up the left side is LaFramboise. Looking, trying to get a shot up. Throws it up, off the rim, no good. Rebounded there by Gilliard. And 44, Carmine Adams with his first personal and 15th foul on the Bulldogs. 5:08 to go here. 23-12 on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Into Johnson in the backcourt. Pressure defense put on by Mission. Gilliard back to Johnson. Johnson going to cross the timeline, gives it up to Gilliard. Looking underneath, Gilliard out to Epperly. 2-3 zone by Mission. Epperly over to Gilliard, left side. Out to Epperly. Epperly looking to drive. Wyatt Johnson in the right corner. Brings it out and loses it, but Gilliard picks it up. Up to Epperly. Epperly thought about going to pull up. They call traveling on Epperly. 4:40 to go here till halftime. 11-point lead for the Vikes, 23-12. Into LaFramboise. Across the timeline, guarded by Johnson. Walks over ice. Fouls on 15. Bryce Gilliard, his second 16 foul. Jack Jensen And Nick Walker will come back in replacing Gilliard and Epperly. And Laframboy to inbound. Gets it up. McClure misses it. Walker right there. He's going to get fouled by Adams on the rebound. Sixth-team foul and second one on Adams here with 4:26 to go. Next team foul on each will give free throws. Ill-advised pass. Ness nearly stealing it as Jensen tried to hit Johnson. It'll remain Bigfork basketball on the far side. Johnson inbound for the Vikes. Johnson will get it into Jensen. Jensen across the timeline over to Thornus. Wyatt Johnson, left wing. Jensen, three-point shot in the way by Jensen. Misses it off the glass. Adams and Thornus right there battling for the rebound. And they'll call it for the personal. And a 1-on-1 for Mission. That's a 17th foul. Epperly will come in for Thornus as that's the second one on Eli with 4:08 to go here in the first half. Still 23-12 on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. And Adams at the line, 1-1. Misses it. Johnson grabs the rebound for Bigfork. Back to Jensen. Jensen will bring in the front court. Over to Johnson. Over to Epperly. Epperly, left wing. Extended, top of the key. Over to Jensen. Baseline, Nick Walker underneath. He finds Byerman. Byerman up. Puts it over the front of the rim and score by Landon Byerman. Laframboy, guarded by Johnson. Spin move. Out to walks over ice. Three-point shot on the way. Misses it. Walker comes down with the rebound. Gives it up to Jensen. Jensen slows it down across the timeline. And the left wing. Jensen out top. Back to Epperly. Three-point shot by Epperly on the way. No good. Bounces around. Nearly falls in. And Walker battling for it. Laframboy comes up with a loose ball. That one nearly fell. Laframboy. Scores the bucket as he got fouled as he went through the lane. It's on Johnson, his first 18th foul. Gilliard back in for Byerman for Bigfork. With 3:15 to go, 25-14 the Vikes lead. On your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard, Laframboy makes the N1, 25-15, 10-point lead for the Vikes now. Jensen, right side, Epperly. Back to Jensen. Johnson in the front court. Johnson pump fakes, gives it out to Jensen. Jensen out to Gilliard. Gilliard top of the key, back to Jensen. 2-3 zone for Mission still. Gilliard, Jensen thought about the three. Gilliard looking. Jensen. Drive, pull-up jumper, rolls around, misses it. McClure with a rebound. The Fromboy bringing it up the right side for the Bulldogs. Crossover, throws up a three, in and out. Jensen with a rebound. Quickly up to Epperly. Epperly, right side, looking. He'll pull it out. Right wing, underneath, had Walker. Knocked away and grabbed by Adams. Turnover by Bigfork. The Fromboy. Left side, looking. Spin move, kicks it out. McClure looks at the drive. Up, in and out, no good. And off McClure's hands. And Bigfork basketball. 2:19 to go here in the first half. The Vikes up by 10, 25-15. Here on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard, Jensen will inbound to Gilliard. In the backcourt, 1-2-2 trap defense. Mission, back to Jensen. Gilliard, Jensen. Jensen across the timeline for Bigfork. Looking, Epperly at half court. Gets around McClure. Epperly looking, cross court. Johnson underneath finds Nick Walker. Walker off the glass for two. And a nice pass there by Wyatt Johnson. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half, 27-15. Laframboy on the drive. Johnson guarding him. Shot short off the rim, bounce no good. Gilliard with the rebound. He'll get it out to Jensen for Bigfork. Quickly up the court. Finds underneath Nick Walker off the glass. He got fouled. And he'll go to the free throw line with 1:40 to go here till halftime. Fouls at number 2, Kenny Ness. That's his first 17th foul. And Nick Walker at the line for the Vikes to shoot 2. First shot up by Walker is good. He'll get one. Landon Byerman back in for Wyatt Johnson. And Morgeau will replace Adams with 1:40 to go here in the first half. Nick Walker at the line. He'll get one more. Nothing but the bottom of the net by Nick Walker. 29-15, 1:38 to go here on your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Vikes lead. Walks over ice. McClure, three-point shot. In and out, no good. Rebounded there by Jensen. Jensen quickly up, guarded by LaFramboise. Gives it up to Epperly. Over to Jensen, right wing. Underneath. Nick Walker, nice pass. Blocked out of bound by Ness. And it'll be Bigfork basketball underneath. Jack Jensen to inbound near side under his own basket. Epperly gets it out to Byerman. Right corner to Jensen. Tried to get under Walker, stolen away by Mission. LaFramboise thought about the three. Byerman right there, guarding him. In the corner, walks over ice, three-point shot on the way. Off the rim, no good. Epperly will grab the rebound and knocked out of bounds by McClure. It'll be Bigfork basketball. Byerman will come out, and Tristan Hurd in the lineup for Bigfork. With 51.5 to go here in the first half. Vikes up by 14, 29-15 on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Epperly will bring it up. No pressure put on by Mission. Epperly across the timeline. Under 40 seconds to go. Epperly driving, looking in the corner. Finds Hurd. Hurd looking back to Epperly. Over to Jensen. Jensen looking underneath. Jensen going to drive off the glass. Scores, and a nice screen set there by Nick Walker. Allows Jensen to get to the bucket. And timeout called by the Vikings with 29 seconds to go here in the first half. And the shot clock is off. A 30-second timeout taken by the Vikes. They're up 31-15, up by 16 here on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. Here, we'll stay right here as the Vikes only 30-second timeout, and the Vikes up by 16. So it looks like Mission will probably hold for a one shot here going down the stretch, as the shot clock is off with 29 seconds to go here in the first half. And that was a nice screen there by Nick Walker. Sets it up. That allowed Jack Jensen to get to the glass and score the bucket. McClure into LaFramboise. LaFramboise across the timeline. 20-some seconds. Johnson will come out and meet him, put some pressure on him. LaFramboise looking to drive. Underneath, Ness. Ness off the glass over Walker's. Walker tried to block it. Gets it into Jensen. Knocked out of bounds by McClure. Pierce will come back in for Mission. Epperly back in for Hurd for the Vikes. And pressure. 6.6 to go here in the first half. Gilliard looking to get the ball in. Gives it to Jensen. Jensen guarded by LaFramboise. Over to Gilliard. Gilliard, 3 seconds to go. Launches a long three off the glass. Off the rim, no good. Would have countered it if it would have went. Your first half is complete. And the Vikings lead 31-17 on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. I will be back with your halftime stats here from St. Ignatius as the Vikings lead this one 31-17 at the half. All right, welcome back to Sating Nation as the Vikings lead at halftime, 31-17 on the scoreboard. Halftime is brought to you by Flathead Lake Lodge, brought to you Avril's Flathead Lake Lodge, where they've proudly supported Bigfork athletics since 1945, thanks to Chase Averill and the gang at Flathead Lake Lodge, the whole Averill family. They do a great job. Thanks to Dax Van Vossen for putting that together, and sponsors allow us to broadcast these games on the road. And take a look at your halftime stats here. First of all, for the Bulldogs, and we'll get those right here momentarily for you. Kenny Ness with 2 in the second quarter, 2 by Adams. And the only other scoring is LaFramboy. 9 in the first and 3 in the second. So 12 for him. They had 12 in the first and 5 in the second, 17 overall. So Vikings really clamped down on the Mission Bulldogs today. Coach was talking about that. Take a look at what we got for scoring-wise. The scoring spread out pretty evenly for the Vikings here, so a team effort. Isaac Epperle with 4, Thornus with 2, Jack Simpson with 2, Landon Byron with 4, Bryce Gilliard with 7, leading the way. 5 by Cole Konopik in the first, and they went down with injury. Tried to come back, but not sure. Actually, Bryce Gilliard has 8, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, leading the way. 5 for Cole Konopik. And Nick Walker has 6, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, and the 2 other baskets in the second quarter. Scored 18 in the first, 13 in the second, 31 overall, so 31-17 here on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard at halftime. Once again, this is James LaFontaine. Glad to be with you from St. Ignatius as the Vikings and Valkyries take on the Bulldogs, Lady Bulldogs. After this, we'll have the Valkyries basketball against the Lady Bulldogs. So it's halftime. I'll be back with the second half here from St. Ignatius as the Vikings lead this one 31-17 at the half. Well, welcome back to St. Ignatius. We're ready for the second half as the Vikings lead at halftime by 14, 31-17. Second half brought to you by Bigfork Harvest Foods. All your grocery needs, including the amazing bakery and Delay. 8111 Highway 35, Bigfork, 837-5010. Mission basketball to start the second half. LaFramboise, McClure walks on ice. Ness and Adams to start for the Vikes. It's Epperly this time. Wyatt Johnson, Nick Walker, Gilliard, Ness. Blocked by Nick Walker, and a nice block by Walker. And Thorness in the game for Bigfork. Johnson, left side, out to Gilliard. In the corner, Epperly, three-point shot in the way is good! Tangles the twine, does Isaac Epperly from the right side. LaFramboise across the timeline, gives it up to McClure. McClure out to walks over ice. Looking to drive, give it up to LaFramboise. LaFramboise. Johnson all over him. LaFramboise puts it up for two. Quickly up, Nick Walker running the floor. Epperly gets in the ball. Walker back up, gets his own rebound, puts it back up off the backboard, and rebounded by McClure. About takes out his own guy on the rebound. LaFramboise looking to drive. Throws it up, no good. Thorness right there, gives it up. Gilliard quickly over to Johnson. Johnson right side. Gives it up to Epperly. And McClure will get called for the personal. That's his second. First team foul in the second half. Epperly near side will inbound into the backcourt to Johnson. Johnson across the timeline for the Vikings. Over to Epperly. Right side, Thorness on the wing, looking underneath. Cross court, Wyatt Johnson. Johnson looking to drive up off the glass, too strong. Gets his own rebound, puts it up off the glass. This time it's good by Wyatt Johnson. McClure will get it into LaFramboise. 36-19 on the Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. The Vikes lead with 6:15 to go here in the third quarter. McClure, right side, right wing. Pulls up, shoots the three. Gilly with a rebound. And he'll get fouled by Ness on the rebound. And that's Kenny Ness, his second team foul on the Bulldogs. Thorness to inbound in the backcourt. Will give it up to Epperly. Mission pulling out their pressure defense. They'll pull it back and go into a 2-3 zone. Epperly over to Johnson, left side. Thorness. Nick up to Epperly. Epperly looking to throw it up. Nick Walker grabs it, puts it off the glass, gets the roll, drops for Nick Walker. So doubling him up, 38-19 on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. LaFramboise looking to drive around, underneath, knocked away. Ness, the basketball, out to McClure. 3-second violation called on Mission. Turnover to Bigfork. Jack Jensen, Landon Byerman are going to replace Thorness and Johnson for the Vikes. Byerman inbound to Jensen. Jensen will bring it up the timeline and across half court. 2-3 zone by Mission. Over to Epperly, back to Jensen. Jensen top of the key, a couple feet out. Goes it over to Gilliard, left side, back to Jensen. Jensen drives in, looking. Epperly, right side. Jensen. Gilliard, three-point shot from the left side, a little bit strong. Got Byerman right with the rebound. Byerman looking to go up, and he gets grabbed there by McClure. His third team foul on Mission. Epperly to inbound for the Vikings. Byerman, Jensen, top of the key. Over to Epperly. Epperly looking back door. Nope, not there. Jensen, Epperly. Epperly thought about it, drives in, up, pulls up for the jumper, just off the front of the rim, gets his own rebound. Going to take it up. Off the glass, no good. Rebounded there by Ness. And Epperly will get called for the personal. And a 30-second timeout taken by the Bulldogs. That is a third foul on Epperly. First team foul in the second half on the Vikes. A 30-second timeout taken by the Bulldogs. At 4:52 to go here in the third quarter. The Vikes doubling up. The Bulldogs 38-19 here on your Flathead Lake Lodge scoreboard here from St. Ignatius. And Cole Konopka with his warm-up back on. I don't think he's going to get back in the second half for Bigfork. Get some rest and heal up. So on the personal will be Mission basketball. McClure gets it into the farm boy. 2-3 zone by Bigfork. Underneath, gets it up and dropping it is Adams. Jensen quickly up the court for the Vikes across the timeline. They'll give it over to Epperly. Back to Jensen. Epperly will at the free throw line. Gilliard back to Jensen. Jensen over to Byerman. Byerman looking underneath for Walker. Gets it off to Jensen, top of the key. Pulls up, 3 off the rim, no good, and tipped out. Call a personal on 14, Landon Byerman. Walker will come out. Thornus will come back in. Second on Byerman, and second team foul on the Vikes. LaFramboy over to McClure. McClure out to walks over ice. Gives it over to LaFramboy. LaFramboy over the right side. Looking to drive in. Jensen right there. Ness, baseline, off the glass, no good. Thornus grabs the rebound. He'll get up to Jensen. Jensen quickly to Epperly. Epperly, right wing, looking for the secondary cut. Pulls up for the 3. Nothing but the bottom of the net by Isaac Epperly. On a nice three-point shot. 3:45 to go here in the third quarter. 41-21, up by 20 are the Vikes. Stolen away by Epperly. Epperly looking. Going to pull up, guarded by LaFramboy. Is Epperly. Gives it up. Gilliard back to Epperly. Out to Byerman. Byerman top of the key. Looking over. Finds Jensen left side. Out to Byerman. Gilliard. Far side. Jensen the skip pass. Underneath Epperly. Going to pull up. No, he finds Gilliard. Gilliard thought about pump fake. Up. Left-handed. Puts it off the glass. Too strong. Epperly grabs the rebound. Puts it off the glass. Scores it for 2. And will go to the free throw line to shoot the and 1. Yeah, that's on 21. McClure, that's his 4th now. And 4th team foul. And Epperly to the line to shoot the N1 as number 10, Leo Pierce, back in the lineup for Mission, replacing McClure with the 4 fouls. So Isaac to get 1. Here with 3:15 to go in the third. Epperly shot up, makes it, completes the 3-point play. He'll get a break as Johnson comes in and gives Isaac Epperly a breather. LaFramboy walks over ice. Back to LaFramboy. Pressure defense put on by Bigfork. LaFramboy looking to drive in. Goes up off the glass. He drives it all the way in. Byerman inbound to Jensen. Jensen looking. Cross court. Byerman. Jensen in the corner. Johnson finds Gilliard. Gilliard can't handle a pass. And turnover. It'll be a held ball. It looks like. Held ball, and it'll remain Bigfork basketball as Nick Walker comes in for Bryce Gilliard with 2:49 to go here in the third quarter. So coach getting some of the starters a breather. Jensen inbound to Byerman. Wyatt Johnson top of the key to Jensen. Corner, Byerman. 3-point shot, right side. And another at the bottom of the net for Landon Byerman on the 3. Nice play set up for the Vikes. The Vikes. Walks over ice, gets it over LaFramboy, back to walks over ice, across the timeline. LaFramboy, a long 3 on the way. Nick Walker grabs the rebound. Wyatt Johnson quickly up, finds Thornus. And blocking foul on 44. Carmine Adams, that's his 3rd, 15 foul. And Morgeau replaces Adams with 2:23 to go here in the third. Jensen into Byerman. Johnson to Jensen. Byerman underneath finds Eli Johnson. Eli Thornus can't handle it. It'll be a held ball. And this time Mission will get the possession. 2:15 to go. 47-23. The Vikes up on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. Into LaFramboy. Walks over ice, back to front, tipped, stolen by Jensen. Jensen will find Johnson. Johnson up underneath. Byerman left hand off the glass for 2. And the Bulldogs will take a full timeout. 2:02 to go here in the third quarter. The Vikings lead 49-23 here on your Hatson Excavating scoreboard. I'll be back here with the rest of the ball game here from St. Ignatius as the Vikes lead 49-23. All right, we're back here in St. Ignatius. As Mission had taken a timeout after the bucket. 49-23 on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. And Pierce to inbound to Laframboy. Pressure defense put on by the Vikings. Laframboy going to dribble all the way up. And they got a call reaching foul on the Vikes. Number 10, Jack Jensen. That's his first. Third team foul on Bigfork. Mission, the farm boy inbound. Under the near side. Gets it out to Pierce. Pierce going to give it up to the farm boy. Thought about shooting the 3. Wyatt Johnson all over him. Off the glass, no good. Inbound. Foul number 5. Eli Thornus, his third. 14 foul on the Vikes. And at the line shooting 2, I believe is 23. Yeah, it is. That's Landon walks over ice. Thornus will come out. Gilliard back in the lineup for Bigfork. Here with 1:46 to go here in the third quarter. Walks over ice, makes the first one, gets the second. In and out, no good. Nick Walker with the rebound, gets it up to Jensen. Jensen looking. Gilliard. Gets it over to Johnson across the timeline. Now back to Jensen. 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Jensen. Gilliard over the left side. Out to Johnson. Byerman. Jensen looking underneath Walker. Gilliard. Johnson. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Johnson up, under, gives it up. A nice pass into Nick Walker by Wyatt Johnson. Laframboy underneath. Finds Morgeau. Morgeau blocked by Nick Walker. And fouls on Walker. They're going to call it on Gilliard. That's Gilliard's third. 15 foul. Eric Morgeau at the line to shoot 2. Number 11, Quinn Herring, getting ready to check in for Bigfork. First shot up, no good by Eric Morgeau. And Quinn Herring, number 11, checking the ball game for the Vikings, replacing Bryce Gilliard with the 3 personals. 1:06 to go here, the third, 51-24 on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Morgeau with one more. This one's short off the rim. Herring right in the ball game, gets the rebound, gives it up to Johnson. Back to Jensen. 1 minute to go. Yeah, Byerman, Jensen, Johnson. Back to Jensen. Jensen out near half court. Going to set it up for the Vikes with 20 seconds to go on the shot clock. Johnson, Byerman over to Nick Walker. Jensen, left wing. Out to Johnson, Byerman. Baseline, Nick Walker. Out to Byerman. No. Laframboy steps in front of that one. Races it off. Makes it. Inbound quickly. Byerman to Johnson. Shot clock off, 30 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Byerman in the front court with the basketball. He'll get out to Jensen. Near half court, will drive in. Jensen does. Byerman looking underneath, had Walker over to Johnson. Johnson looking, gives it to Nick Walker. 3 from the left corner. Off of Herring's hands. Out of play. It'll be Mission basketball. And 44, Carmine Adams in the ball game for Mission, replacing Morgeau. 10.5 to go here in the third quarter. 51-26. Vikes lead on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. And Laframboise throws it up, scores. That'll be the end of 3 complete here from St. Ignatius as the Vikings lead this one 51-28. Here on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. I'll be back with the conclusion of the ballgame in the fourth quarter here from St. Ignatius. All right, we're back in St. Ignatius. 3 quarters complete. Vikings lead 51-28, up by 23 on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. It'll be Bigfork basketball to start the fourth quarter. 8 minutes to go on the clock. Johnson, Epperly, Jensen, Gilliard, and Walker in the ballgame for Bigfork. Epperly looking to drive, kicks it over. In the left corner to Johnson. Johnson up, under, off the glass to the left hand. Scores it for 2. And a nice move by Wyatt Johnson. Laframboise. Over to, walks over ice on the right side. Gives it up. Adams walks over ice. 3 on the way. Gilliard with a strong rebound for Bigfork. We'll give it up to Jensen. Jensen looking up the court. Gives it up to Epperly. Epperly looking. Left side. He'll bring it out. Look to drive. Epperly spin move. Off the glass to the left hand. No good. Thought he got fouled. McClure quickly up the court for Mission. And player control fouls. Gilliard picks up the charge on McClure. And that's the 5th one on McClure. And he's done for the ball game. Number 4, Talon Addison in the ball game for Mission. 7:13 to go here in the ball game. The Vikes lead 53-28 on your Montana Athletics Club scoreboard. Wyatt Johnson across the timeline. Gives it up to Gilliard, right side. Back to Johnson. Johnson looking, gives it up to Walker. Walker top of the key, looking underneath, finding Epperly. Gilliard. Johnson, right corner, out to Walker. Nick Walker will give it up to Epperly. Epperly top of the key, going to set it up for the Vikes. 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. Gilliard looking to drive, kicks it out. Jensen, 3 on the way from the left side. Off the rim, no good. Walker right there, puts it back up for 2 for the Vikings. Laframboise across the timeline for Mission. Nearly travels. Addison with the basketball. Addison will give it over to walks over ice. Back to Laframboise. Gilliard right there. Not giving Laframboise anything, any room. Jensen guard cutting him off. Walks over ice, baseline jumper. Bounces it up. Nick Walker with a strong rebound for the Vikes. They'll give it up to Jensen with 6 minutes to go here in the ballgame. Jensen across the timeline for the Vikes. Gives it up to Epperly. Epperly looking out to Johnson. Johnson on the drive. Looking. Loses it. Laframboise takes it away from Wyatt Johnson. Quickly up the court. Laframboise throws up a 3. Off the rim, no good. Epperly, strong rebound for the Vikes. And it'll bring it across the timeline for Bigfork. 55-28, 27-point lead by the Vikes with 5:32 to go. Epperly will give it up. Gilliard back to Epperly. Epperly looking to drive in. Loses it. Jensen picks it up, is slapped away. Jensen off the glass, no good. Tipped around, grabbed by Ness for Mission. He'll give it up to Laframboise. Laframboise over to walks over ice. Walks over ice looking to drive in. Off the glass, too strong. Gilliard with a rebound. Quickly up, Epperly. Epperly will set it up for the Vikings. Epperly, 3 on the way. Off the rim, off the glass, no good. Out of bounds off Johnson. It'll be Mission basketball. And Mission will take a timeout, a full timeout, as Byerman and Thornes will come out into the ball game for the Vikings. 4:55 to go. 4:56 to go. 55-28. On your Hanson Excavating scoreboard, the Vikes lead. I'll be back with the rest of the ball game here from St. Ignatius. All right, we're back here in St. Ignatius. Vikes lead 55-28, 4:56 to go. Mission bringing the ball in. The Fromboy with the basketball. Across the timeline, a 1-2 zone by Bigfork. Adams walks over ice, baseline Ness. Ness over Epperly. Gets his own rebound as he misses the first one. Epperly grabs the rebound. Gets it up to Jensen. Jensen thought about it, gets it up to Byerman. Byerman looking. Underneath, secondary cut. Byerman looking to drive. Foul number 44, Carmine Adams. That's his 17th foul. And Eli Thordes will go to the line to shoot a 1-on-1 for the Vikings. Shot up. Gets the roll as it hits the back of the rim and softly drops. So Thornes will get one more. Shot of the way is good. 57-28. 4:25 to go here in the ballgame. The Vikes lead. The Fromboy walks over ice over the right wing. Looking underneath. Just launches up a three way up. Misses everything. Thornes right there to grab it. Jensen will bring in the front court for the Vikes. Left side, Jensen up to Epperly. Epperly, Thornes. Thornes on the drive. Back to Jensen. Jensen. Epperly. Epperly looking to drive. And they'll call traveling on Epperly. Looked like he grabbed his arm so he couldn't put the dribble down. And Pierce will come back in for walks over ice for Mission. Laframboy across the timeline. They're not going to give him any shot. Pierce thought about the three. Laframboy, long three-point shot. Misses everything. And goes out of bounds. It'll be Bigfork basketball. 3:43 to go here. The Vikings up 57-28 here on your Hanson Excavating scoreboard. And Jensen with the basketball. Across the timeline. Jensen over to Byerman. Byerman looking underneath. Gives it to Epperly. Epperly. Thornes grabs it off the glass for two. And a nice feed by Epperly into Thornes. With 3:20 to go. Laframboy throws it out of bounds. Intended for Pierce. And it'll be Bigfork basketball. 3:17 to go. 59-28. On your Gilliard Painting scoreboard. Jensen across the timeline. Going to run some clock. Gives it over to Johnson. Johnson right wing. Throws it underneath Epperly. Epperly looking up under out to Thornes. Thought about the three over to Johnson. Johnson will pull it out. 17 seconds to go. Cross court. Gives it up to Jensen. Jensen out near half court. We'll give it over to Byerman. Byerman underneath. Gives it to Thornus. 3-point shot from the top of the key. Misses it. Epperly grabs a rebound. Fouls on 24. That's Zoran Laframboy's first 8th foul. And Isaac Epperly at the line for a 1-and-1 for the Vikings. 2:45 to go in the ball game. Epperly up. Makes the first, and he'll get another. He makes the second. So 61-28, 2:40 and counting in the ball game. Laframboy will give it up. Addison, Ness in the key. Addison straight away 3, misses it. Pierce grabs the rebound. Held ball. It'll remain Mission basketball. And Gillard will replace Epperly. And a good ball game there for Isaac Epperly. 2:31 to go. Laframboy inbound, gives it up to Pierce. Pierce pulls up inside the free throw line for a jumper right there. Gilliard grabs the loose ball off the rebound. We'll give it up to Jensen. Jensen will slowly bring it across the timeline. 30 seconds to go on the shot clock. Jensen, Thornus, long back door, gives it to Gilliard. Gilliard off the glass. Too strong, misses it. Laframboy with a rebound for Mission. Laframboy across the timeline looking. Cut off by Bigfork. Laframboy going to drive baseline. Gives it out to Pierce. Back to Laframboy. Launches a 3. It's going to be short. Byerman comes up with a rebound. Gets it up to Jensen. Jensen. And Bigfork will take a 30 or a timeout. 30-second timeout. Full timeout. Quinn Herring back in the ballgame for Bigfork. And checking in for the Vikings, number 30, Dylan Pervecchio. So it'll be Herring, Jensen, Pervecchio, Johnson, and Gilliard to finish out the ballgame for the Vikings. They're up 61-28. On your Flathead Lake Live scoreboard here in the fourth quarter. And nothing but full timeouts left for both. And I usually would have taken timeout, but I'm going to stay right here. About 15 seconds left on the timeout. Up by 33 are the Vikes. It'll be Bigfork basketball with 1:49 to go in the ballgame. Inbound to Jensen from Johnson. Laframboy putting pressure in the backcourt. Jensen quickly across the timeline. We'll give it up Pervecchio. Stolen away by Laframboy. Held ball. It'll point towards Bigfork. Jack and Donna Gannier in listening from Bigfork. Just saw that. Thanks, Jack, for tuning in. 1:30 to go here. And Johnson gets it across. Looking to drive in. Johnson. Gilliard. Right side. Jensen. Jensen falls down. And held ball as Jensen backpedaling. Falls backward and gets tied up. 1:21 to go. 61-28. On the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Laframboy. Pierce. Back to Laframboy. Laframboy looking off the knee. Ness knocked away Dylan Pervecchio. And Dylan will get called for the personal. That's his first 16 foul. Pierce to inbound for Mission. To Addison. Addison finds Pierce. Back to Addison. Ness looking to drive underneath. Out the hands of Adams, and Bigfork basketball. Number 3, Thomas Addison, will come in for Leo Pierce. Number 1, Tristan Hurd in for the Vikings, back in with under 1 minute to go here in the first half. Into Hurd. Hurd across the timeline. Give it up. LaFramboy will steal it. Johnson right there to play defense. LaFramboy off the glass for 2. Into Jensen. Jensen quickly up. Across the timeline. Will hold it out. Gets it up to Johnson. Johnson looking to drive. Kicks it up. Out to Hurd. Hurd right corner. Going to bring it out. Finds Jensen. 30 seconds to go. Jensen on the drive. Look up, under, off the glass for 2. On a nice drive by Jack Jensen. The shot clock's off with 20 seconds to go. LaFramboy, long 3 on the way. The rim right there. Nice rebound there by Quinn Herring for Bigfork to Jensen. And they'll run the clock out right here. Jensen going to hold it out. 63-30 the lead. 7 seconds to go. Jensen out near half court. Will bring it out. And the clock runs out. That is your final as the Vikings win this 63-30 here from St. Ignatius. And the Vikings will move to 10-2. It's 7-0 all in conference now with that 63-30 win on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. I'll be back with post-game here from Mission, and we'll get ready for the Valkyries taking on the Lady Bulldogs. And other action earlier in JV, it was Bigfork 70-43 over Mission. On the girls' side, JV action 46-22. The Valkyries beat the Lady Bulldogs. I'll be back with your full game stats here from St. Ignatius momentarily. Well, welcome back to St. Ignatius. Final in this one. Vikings win 63-30 over the Bulldogs. Post game, I might get a halftime of this game interview with the coach, but we got to get over to the girls' game. So let me give you the full game stats and wrap things up here. So for Mission, Ness with 2, 1 for Walks on Ice, 4 for Adams, and of course LaFramboy leading the way. He had 9 in the first, 3 in the second. This is 12 and 10 in the second half. So 22 overall. So like Coach said, we didn't allow him to get 30. We held him down and win this one 63-30 for the Vikings. Let me get back here and give you the Vikings full game stats. Pretty balanced scoring all the way. A couple guys in double digits. Wyatt Johnson with 4. Isaac Epper leading the way with 15. 6 by Eli Thornes, 4 by Jack Jensen, 9 by Landon Byerman. Bryce Gilliard with 8. Cole Knopik with 5. And then he, all in the first quarter, then he got injured, so he's out for the ball game. Then Nick Walker with a nice game has 12 for the Vikings, and they win this one 63-30. So the Vikings move on, and they will go, again, 10-2 overall, and we'll play Tuesday. They'll be at home against Columbia Falls. That should be a great ball game. The Valkyries will be on the road. We'll talk about that. So final 63-30. The Vikings win this one. That wraps it up here. So next broadcast will be Plains a week from Tuesday on the road, doubleheader. That'll be the last broadcast of the regular season for me. And then we'll get into postseason. We'll talk about districts from Eureka. Divisions will be in Anaconda, and then state in Great Falls if that all works out. So the Vikings win this one again. I think that wraps up the conference for them, which is good for them here. And I'll wrap us the thanks for here. Thanks for tuning in. I'll be back on the flip side with the Valkyries taking on the Lady Bulldogs here from St. Ignatius. Once again, your final 63-30. The Vikings win this one. Thanks for tuning in to Viking basketball on BFS Events here on YouTube. Have a great afternoon. I'll catch you in a minute with the next one.